This wasn't me trying to persuade Taylor into being a Cleveland sports fan with me. This was me just having a fun date night.
On a recent episode of New Heights, Travis Kelce told Jason Kelce a story about the night he took Taylor Swift to a Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game. And Jason's reaction was exactly what you'd expect. But before we get to that, you need to understand what actually happened inside that arena. The box score doesn't even come close to capturing it. Travis Kelce didn't fly Taylor Swift to Cleveland to make her a sports fan. He didn't bring her courtside to create a viral moment. He brought her because he wanted a date night in his hometown, watching the team he grew up bleeding for. And what she got instead was a full baptism into what it means to love Cleveland sports. That one night told you more about this relationship than any red carpet appearance ever could.
I love bringing her into the sports world that I appreciate.
Here's the scene. It's the 2025 NBA playoffs. The Cleveland Cavaliers are hosting the New York Knicks inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, home of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and 20,000 fans had no idea what they were about to witness. The Cavs are trying to claw their way back into a series that's slipping through their fingers. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift show up courtside, right there on the floor, surrounded by a crowd that is absolutely losing their minds. Not just because of the basketball, but because Taylor Swift is sitting in their arena wearing a Knicks jersey. Yeah, you heard that right. Taylor Swift showed up repping New York, and honestly, not a lot of teams have been able to get Taylor Swift to wear a jersey. The Knicks pulled it off.
Not a lot of teams have been able to get Taylor to wear a jersey. I'll say that, and the Knicks did.
And Travis Kelce, lifelong Cleveland kid from Cleveland Heights, is sitting right next to her biting his tongue, because that's love. And when Jason Kelce heard this story on New Heights, his reaction said everything. When Travis and Jason sat down on New Heights to break this whole night down, the story got even wilder than the box score. But first, let's talk about what Travis actually lived through in that arena. Travis talked about it openly, and what struck me was how real he was about the whole thing. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said the Knicks are rolling right now, haven't lost in over 8 games, something like 10 straight playoff wins, and they swept the Sixers and then swept Cleveland. He was genuinely complimentary of guys like Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, calling them Villanova guys, and saying everything is clicking for New York right now. But you could hear it in his voice, that specific Cleveland sports pain that anyone from Northeast Ohio knows in their bones.
Right now, the Knicks are rolling, man. So hats off to New York, man. I'm probably going to be rooting for them from here on out. They're on fire right now.
They're rolling.
They haven't lost in over 8 games. I think they're 10 straight in the playoffs right now.
He talked about how the Cavs played stifling defense, how they fought to get momentum, how they'd finally hit a 3 and get a stop and start feeling like something was building. And then the Knicks would just drain a dagger 3 and kill it. He said he was sitting there watching it happen, and you could almost see him slumping in his seat, which, by the way, the internet absolutely caught. There's this incredible moment where Travis Kelce is visibly frustrated, kind of slumped down in his courtside seat, and someone asked him afterward if he fell asleep during the game. He laughed it off, but the truth was way more relatable than that. He said the Knicks couldn't miss a goddamn shot in the fourth quarter, and he was just sitting there watching his team fight on defense, only to give up another bucket. That feeling, every sports fan knows it. You're doing everything right, and the other team just won't stop hitting.
I'm just sitting here. We're playing defense. We finally get some momentum offensively. Hit a 3, get a stop. Blah blah blah. The next fucking shot down, they fucking just hit a goddamn dagger of a 3, and I'm just sitting there like, come on.
And then came the moment that sent the entire internet into a tailspin. Inside the NBA, the legendary TNT crew got hold of footage of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift at the game and absolutely went to work. They did their gone fishing treatment, which is what they do when a team gets eliminated, and the memes were devastating in the best possible way. Travis, sitting there all slumped and frustrated, got the Al Bundy treatment, the Ed O'Neill comparison. Taylor Swift in her Knicks jersey got compared to Drew Carey. There was a Seinfeld reference thrown in there. Travis saw all of it and couldn't stop laughing. He said whoever is working the memes at Inside the NBA is doing God's work, and honestly, he's right. Those editors deserve a raise.
Inside the NBA, man, their memes are the fucking best. Whoever's working at Inside the NBA, this is fucking hilarious.
But here's the part that really got me, and this is where the New Heights episode takes the whole story to another level. Jason Kelce literally said on the pod, and I'm paraphrasing Travis, "She showed up in a Knicks jersey to a Cleveland game. That's your girl." The way Jason delivered it, half laughing, half in disbelief, was the most brother thing you've ever heard. And Travis just took it. Because what could he say? It's true. That moment right there, that's why the New Heights episode landed so hard. It wasn't just Travis telling a funny story. It was Jason Kelce holding his brother accountable for it in real time, and both of them losing it together. Cleveland Sports Radio had a field day with the whole situation too, and one clip in particular made the rounds. A local radio host said something along the lines of, "This was our chance to get Taylor Swift to really fall in love with Cleveland." And instead, she probably witnessed the worst performance of the postseason.
Man, this is our chance to get Taylor to really fall in love with Cleveland and the idea of Cleveland sports.
This is our chance.
And then just witnesses probably the worst performance this postseason. So,
oh no, she got baptized last night. She got the real of Cleveland sports last night.
And then came the punchline that Travis himself repeated and loved. They said Taylor Swift just got baptized into Cleveland sports fandom. Travis called it hilarious because he knows it's true. He's lived it his whole life. He grew up a Browns fan. He had a Tim Couch jersey that he wore to school. Tim Couch, if you know, you know. That's not bandwagon energy. That's real, painful, loyal to a fault Cleveland love. This wasn't Arrowhead. This wasn't a Chiefs game. This was Travis Kelce on his own turf, in his own city, carrying 30 years of Cleveland heartbreak on his back. Patrick Mahomes has never had to sit courtside watching his hometown team fall apart in the playoffs. This was something different entirely.
She just got baptized is fucking hilarious.
What really matters here, though, is what Travis said about why he brought Taylor Swift in the first place. He was clear about it. This wasn't him trying to convert her into a Cleveland sports fan. This was just a fun date night. He said he loves going to basketball games. He loves bringing Taylor Swift into the sports world he grew up in. He pointed out that they've been to U.S. Open tennis matches together, baseball games, including a Guardians versus Yankees game a couple years back. He said they actually tried to go to a Knicks game in New York when he was stuck in Kansas City and couldn't make it work. So when the opportunity came to see Cleveland host New York, Taylor Swift was into it. She even said something like, "Oh, nice, they're playing the Knicks. Sweet. I've seen them play before." That's a woman who's genuinely engaged in her partner's world, not performing for cameras.
When it came down to like going to the Cavs game, she was kind of like, "Oh, nice, they're playing the Knicks." Like, sweet. I've seen them play before. This wasn't me trying to persuade Taylor into being a Cleveland sports fan with me. This was me just having a fun date night, knowing that I love going to basketball games. We actually tried to go to a game in New York, but I was stuck in Kansas City. I love bringing her into the sports world that I appreciate. That's why you've seen us at U.S. Open tennis matches. I've had her at other baseball games, the Guards versus the Yanks last year or 2 years ago. You know, I just enjoy bringing her to experience a lot of the fun that I've always known to have.
And about those courtside seats, Travis Kelce had a whole thing about how the floor at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is raised up because the arena is multi-use. Underneath the basketball hardwood is a hockey rink. So the court sits on top of this elevated platform, and the courtside seats are basically at floor level, which means they're tiny and low to the ground. Travis, who is 6'5" and built like a truck, was crammed into these little seats and said the hardest part was trying to get out of them when he wanted to jump up and celebrate. He joked about it, saying it was like trying to launch himself off a couch. He asked if they could maybe add another layer of flooring underneath to raise the seats up.
Oh, you know what's hard is trying to get out of those fucking seats and get excited.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You see a big three and you're just like Ed Kelce getting off the couch about to whoop our ass.
Can we not get like another floor underneath it to raise those seats up a little bit?
It was such a genuine, funny human moment, the kind of thing that makes you remember These are real people having real experiences, not just content machines. Now, speaking of real moments, there's one detail from this whole Cleveland trip that flew under the radar, but honestly might be my favorite part. Someone asked Travis Kelce if he took Taylor Swift around Cleveland Heights, showed her the neighborhood, hit up any local spots, and he said not this time, they came in strictly for the game. But then he caught himself and said he has shown her the Heights before, meaning on a previous trip, Taylor Swift walked around Cleveland Heights, Ohio, seeing where Travis Kelce grew up, the streets he rode his bike on, the parks he played in. That's not something you do for a photo op. That's something you do because you love someone and you want them to understand where you come from.
Did you guys go to the Heights, or did you just go to the game?
Come on now, you know I showed her the Heights. Not this time. But previously before.
It's happened. Okay.
We came in strictly just for the game this time. But obviously, being a Cleveland sports fan for my entire life, getting Tay back to Cleveland and showing her my roots is always something I love doing.
And while Travis Kelce was busy giving Taylor Swift the full Cleveland experience, there's been a quieter story building around the Kelce family that's worth talking about. Jason Kelce has been more visible lately, popping up at events, and every time he surfaces, the conversation inevitably finds its way back to Travis and Taylor Swift. What's interesting is how protective the whole family has become, not in a defensive way, but in a we're not going to let the circus ruin this way. Donna Kelce has been spotted out and about doing her own thing, living her best life. There's this sense that the entire Kelce family has found their rhythm with all the attention. They're not hiding from it, but they're not performing either. It's become this beautiful thing where you can tell the family genuinely enjoys each other, genuinely supports each other, and has figured out how to keep the real stuff real, even when the whole world is watching. There's also been buzz around something Travis Kelce said that a lot of people glossed over when he was talking about the basketball game and his love for Cleveland sports on New Heights. He mentioned how going back to arenas you visited as a kid makes you feel like a kid again. And Jason Kelce said the same thing, that there's something about being in those buildings, watching the teams you rooted for as a child that just unlocks something in you. Travis got quiet for a second when that came up, and you could tell it hit him. This is a guy who has won Super Bowls, who is with the biggest pop star on the planet, who has more money than he ever dreamed of, and the thing that still gets him emotional is sitting in a Cleveland arena watching the Cavs. That's not nostalgia. That's identity. One more thing before we wrap up. The announcer at the game apparently called Travis Kelce a product of Shaker Heights, and Travis was genuinely annoyed about it. He went off about it on New Heights afterwards, saying, "Do your goddamn research," because he's from Cleveland Heights, not Shaker Heights. He acknowledged they're right next to each other, literally 3 blocks from the city limit, and he's got nothing against Shaker Heights, but it's a rival city and it matters. Jason Kelce immediately backed him up on that one, because that's what brothers do, and it's the kind of thing that only someone who truly loves where they're from would even care enough to correct. You don't fight for that detail unless that place is part of your soul.
One thing I was pissed off about was the fucking announcer said you're from Shaker Heights. God damn it, do your goddamn research.
I mean, it's the rival city. Obviously, I got a love for Shaker.
It is right next door, and we have nothing wrong with Shaker.
We're about 3 blocks from the city limit.
And that's really what this whole story comes down to. Travis Kelce took Taylor Swift to a basketball game in the city that made him who he is. The team lost. The seats were uncomfortable. The announcers got his hometown wrong. The internet turned him into a meme, and he loved every single second of it. Then he sat down with his brother Jason Kelce on New Heights and laughed about all of it. Because Cleveland is home, and he wanted the woman he loves to feel that too, even the heartbreak, especially the heartbreak. That's not a date night. That's an invitation into someone's whole heart. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.